so now we will show you how to apply them. So we have our heater, move this out of the way. We've got our heater right here. Try to put it in the camera so you can see it. And then we have our little, remember, a cotton ball. So we're going to take that and put it somewhere that we can easily get to it. This is where you're going to need your tweezers. So let's fish those out. So I'm going to start with my thumb, because I always do, and this is the thumb on my left hand. And you're going to take your thing and your wrap and pinch it. Let's turn this off for a second so I can show you without heating up the wrap. So you're going to pinch it until it starts to just barely pop up. And you might need to coax it with your tweezers. But you're just going to peel off the wrap from the plastic. And then you've got your sticker on your tweezers. And then with your heater, you're just going to hold it in front of the heater for just a few seconds. It'll start to heat up. You might see it start to move or melt a little bit. That means you're good. So then I take it and I start, sometimes, this is usually what I do, I take it and with the side that you cut the excess on, I use that to pinch with my finger just because it's easier and you get more control that way. So I start at the side and I kind of line up the end and I line up the sides, and then I just slowly lay it on, and I pull back the sides and my cuticle as I lay it down so that, again, that skin is out of the way. And then you just squeeze it on there and you apply a lot of pressure to evenly do it, to evenly adhere it. And then if you notice, see, we've got it on, but on the back side, you see all this? That's the sticker that we cut, so it wouldn't have a lot of excess, but it leaves you room to grab onto the sticker to put on your nail. And it leaves you a lot of control, so if you need to wiggle it around, I'm not perfect, if you can tell, it's not exactly perfect because you can see some of my nail peeking through right there, but you don't have to be perfect. So then what you want to do is you want to take your nail scissors. You can use nail scissors, I'll show you a couple different ways. You can take the nail scissors and follow along the path of your nail like this, and you just trim off the excess like that, and you've got the excess sticker, and then just stick it right to your cotton ball. That's just really easy like that. So then it's not perfect, there's still some bits and pieces that are overhung, but you want to take and put it back in front of your heater for just a few seconds to finish sticking it to your nail, and then you apply pressure again. That's what gets the wrap to stick quite a bit. So then usually what I do is I take my nail clippers. So you have a little excess right here. So what I do is I take my nail clippers. You can use a file too if your nails are long enough, which I will show you in just a second. But I take my nail clippers and I just follow along my nails like you did with the nail scissors, but I follow along with my nail and I trim off any excess wrap, and that crimps down the wrap as well as trimming away all the rough edges, so you have a nice smooth edge that's not going to pop up. So I'll show you a couple more times with this hand, and I'll show you how to use the nail clippers from the very beginning, and I'll show you how to do the file. So next, the thumb is pretty easy. The hardest, the trickiest ones to find the proper size for me are these 3 fingers. So you'd think that it would just go right in a line, but for me it doesn't. The one that's closest, this is going to be my pinky nail right here, this very end one. That's going to be my pinky nail. So the one that goes after my index finger is usually the one right next to the pinky, because that's my next smallest nail. But again, you just need to hold it up to your fingers to find the proper size. For me, the second to last is the index. This widest one that was next to the thumb is my middle finger. And then this one in the middle right here is my ring finger, and this is the pinky. So again, it's going to be different for you. You just need to find what's right for your nail beds. But again, we will turn the heater on, and you want to pinch the plastic and use the tweezers to just pluck it up, pull it away with your tweezers, hold it in front of the heater for just a few seconds, and then for more control, again, I peel with just barely touching it with your fingers. I peel it off of the tweezers, holding on to the excess wrap that we left, not holding on to anything that's going to touch your nail. And then again, I start at the very corner, but lining up the base. And you just, oh, I just messed that up. So let's put this on my middle finger because that was the right one. So you start at the side and at the base and pull your cuticle and your skin out of the way while you're laying it down. And then you just roll it onto your nail and apply a bunch of pressure. So then we have, again, we have all that overhang right here. That's what you use to hold on to get more control. And that's also what we need to trim away. So now I'm going to show you how to trim it with just the nail clippers. So you, instead of the nail scissors where you have to cut across, you're just going to pretend like you're clipping your nails. You're just going to go along, but you can actually clip the nail with the wrap, but you don't have to. This one you're just going to clip at the wrap, and it just comes away nice. You'll have to use an orange stick or something to get the nail wrap out. And then what you can do is you can use, if you have a couple little snags still, you can take the file and in one downward motion you can just file away at the sides, and then I'll use the orange stick to bring up the little sticker pieces that have fallen, and there you have another wrap on. So that's 2 of my fingers. Now I'm going to actually do in order because I messed up before. So some people don't like using the tweezers. Some people will actually use the orange stick. So this is how you do that. You will move this out of the way. Again, you're going to start by pinching the plastic. Use the pointed end this time instead of the slanted edge. So you just take and roll it onto the stick like this, and you hold it in front of the heater again. And some people can actually apply it just using the stick. I can't do that. So again, I just pinch the overhang that we left, and I situate it so that it's easy to grab. And again, pull back with your thumb, pull back the skin from your finger, from your index finger, and with your middle finger, if you can do this, pull back the cuticle, and with your other hand, start at the edge of your nail, following along, making sure the base is there, and then you just, while you're pulling the skin back, and you can switch your middle finger to pulling back the other side, you just roll it onto your nail and apply pressure across all of it. You can also, if you don't think you're applying enough pressure with your hands, that's where this rubber comes in real nice. You can take and push it into your cuticles like this, and you can apply even pressure using the rubber scraper. I'm going to use the nail scissors again to trim the excess, and then you just go around your nail. And again, if you have little bits and pieces, if you don't want to use, like I showed you on the thumb, if you don't want to use the nail clippers to get rid of the excess, you can use the file. You would just take the file and in a downward motion, you would just scrape away, and it only takes a couple swipes. and then use your orange stick to bring up that adhesive that you've just scraped away. And then hold your fingers underneath the heater just to get the final adhesive going, and then you just scrape it onto your fingernails. And as you go along, you'll find some pieces that you missed, and that's just when I break out the nail clippers, because you get more control with the nail clippers than you do with anything else, in my opinion. And you can run your fingers along your nails to see if you can feel anything gritty or sticking up, and then just go along with your nail clippers and clip it away. So we have two more fingers to do, and we're gonna go with our ring finger now. So I'll show you again with the orange stick, since I showed you twice with the tweezers. So you just pinch it again, use the orange stick to roll up onto it, hold it in front of the heater for a few seconds, and then like I said, I just pinch and then move the skin out of the way, start at the side, following along the base of the nail, roll it onto the nail while also removing the cuticle from the other side and applying pressure. Pressure and heat are the most important things on doing these, because if you don't put it down evenly, you're going to get air bubbles, or you're going to have bits that don't stay up, and it's not pleasant that way. So then we're going to use the nail scissors again, follow along your nail. I really like these nail scissors from Jamberry. The ones I bought just did not work after a few times. They got all mucky. So then you're going to hold it in front of the heater again. If your other fingers get in front of the heater too, not a big deal. Just apply more pressure. And then we have some icky bits that are still there. So then I'm going to take and use my nail clippers and go all around again and pull off any overhanging bits. And then if it gets stuck in your nail clippers, just use your orange stick or your tweezers to scrape it off. And our final nail, I'm going to go back to using the tweezers because that's my favorite method. So lastly, you just pinch it, you stick it in front of the heater for a few seconds, and then you pull it off. And the pinky one's always really long for me, just because I don't have very big nails. But again, start at the side, make sure your base is lined up, pull away the skin as you roll it on if you can, and then trim away any excess. Stick the excess to your cotton ball so it's all in one location. Use the heater and trim away any bits that your nail scissors didn't get with the nail clippers. This one's being tricky. There we go. And then clean out your nail clippers, obviously, using the orange stick or your tweezers. Alright, so that is one hand completely done. It'll take you a lot less time when you're not making a video, and when you're used to it, it'll take you a lot less time. In the first couple of times, you might get some air bubbles. It might be difficult, but if you just keep trying with it, you'll get it down. It's really easy. What I like to do after they're all on is I stick all of my fingers in front of the heater again, just one final time, and then I apply pressure through them all again. I just pinch them. Some people use a plastic bag. Some people use the rubber pusher like I told you to apply all heat. My fingers work perfectly fine for me. You just push on them, make sure they're all pushed down. And I'm going to do my right hand off camera and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to put on the cuticle nail oil.